The sunlight faded into a soft glow as the day's warmth lingered in our living room, a prelude to what I thought would be a joyous evening. Daniel had just stepped out to the garden with Alex, leaving me to catch a moment of solitude. But solitude was the last thing I'd find today. Jenna, Alex's fiancée, lingered behind, her presence like a shadow that chilled the air. I turned to follow Daniel and Alex, but Jenna's voice, icy and sharp, cut through the silence. "Marianne, you might want to sit down for this." Confused, I faced her, noticing the lack of warmth in her eyes. "Is everything okay, Jenna?" She smiled, but it was devoid of any kindness. "Oh, it's perfect. Just thought to let you know you won't be needing to worry about what to wear to the wedding." I blinked, puzzled. "What do you mean?" "You're not invited, Marianne." Her words were blunt, like a slap. "You see, you're not really Alex's mother. It would be embarrassing to have you there." I felt a cold knot form in my stomach. "Embarrassing? Jenna, I've been Alex's stepmother for nearly 2 decades. Her laugh was hollow. "Stepmother, right? But not his real mother, just a reminder of his father's past. We wouldn't want to complicate things with your presence." I staggered back, her words wounding deeper than any physical blow. "Jenna, Save it, Marianne. We've made our decision. This is for the best." With that, she turned, leaving me standing there, grappling with a mix of shock, hurt, and disbelief. Daniel's laughter floated in from the garden, a stark contrast to the tension inside. I stood there feeling a profound sense of isolation, as if the family I thought I had was nothing more than a mirage. Gathering my composure, I followed Jenna outside, the weight of her words anchoring me to the spot. Daniel and Alex were deep in conversation, their laughter a balm to the sting of rejection I felt. "Everything okay, Marianne?" Daniel asked, noting my silence. I forced a smile, not wanting to shatter the moment. "Yes, just a lot on my mind." Jenna joined Alex's side, her earlier cruelty masked by a veneer of affection. I watched them, a family tableau I was no longer part of. The evening wore on, but the joy had evaporated, leaving a chill that no amount of laughter could dispel. Jenna's words echoed in my mind, a constant reminder of my place, or lack thereof, in this family. As they left, Jenna's parting smile was a dagger, her final words a clear message. I was an outsider, unwelcome in the life I had helped to build. That night, as Daniel slept beside me, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The hurt and humiliation churned within me, a storm that promised no easy resolution. Jenna had drawn a line, one that I couldn't cross, even if I wanted to. But as the night deepened, a resolve took root within me. Jenna may have thought she'd won, but I wasn't ready to accept defeat, not yet. There was a part of me, quiet but unyielding, that whispered of retribution, a voice that said this wasn't the end but a beginning. The battle lines were drawn, and I, Marianne, once thought of as just a stepmother, was ready to fight for my place in the family. Jenna's disdain had opened a door to a path I never intended to walk, but now there was no turning back. I closed my eyes, not to sleep, but to envision a future where the wrongs were righted. Jenna had underestimated me, and that was her first mistake. I vowed it would be her last. The morning light streamed through the curtains, casting a warm glow across the room, a stark contrast to the chill in my heart. As Daniel prepared for work, the normalcy of our routine felt like a farce. The revelation from the night before played on a loop in my mind, but I kept my turmoil hidden beneath a practiced smile. My journey with Daniel and Alex began on a canvas of uncertainty, painted with cautious strokes as we navigated the complexities of forming a new family. Daniel, with his gentle eyes and a heart bruised by betrayal, had won me over, not just with his love, but with his unwavering dedication to his son, Alex. Alex was just 8 when I entered their lives, old enough to understand the change, but too young to accept it without reservations. My love for him was immediate, yet I approached with the patience of an artist, knowing that some bonds take time to form. "I'm heading out, Marianne. Sure you're okay?" Daniel's voice pulled me back from my reverie. "Yes, just lost in thought." "Have a good day," I replied, my voice steady despite the storm within. After Daniel left, the silence of the house enveloped me. The walls, once filled with the laughter and warmth of a family, now seemed to echo with Jenna's harsh words. It was in this solitude that I sought refuge in my art studio, where canvases and paintbrushes awaited my touch. Art had always been my sanctuary, a place where my thoughts and emotions could dance freely across the canvas. Today, it offered not just escape but reflection. Each stroke became a means of processing the pain, the rejection, and the determination to reclaim my place in Alex's life. As I painted, I thought about the first time I met Alex. He had regarded me with a mix of curiosity and apprehension, his young mind trying to place me in the fragmented picture of his family. I remembered our first genuine moment of connection, over a shared love of art. It was through painting that Alex and I had slowly bridged the gap between us, a series of moments that had felt like victories in the silent battles of acceptance. But Jenna's words had cast a shadow over those memories, suggesting that no matter what I did, I would always be on the outside looking in. The thought was a bitter pill, leaving a lingering aftertaste of resentment and sorrow. The hours slipped by, my emotions spilling onto the canvas in a tumult of color and chaos. It was a reflection of my inner turmoil, a visual representation of the battle I was preparing to fight. As the day waned, I cleaned my brushes, my resolve hardening. Jenna had underestimated the bond I shared with Alex and Daniel. She saw me as a threat, an obstacle to be removed, but she didn't understand the depth of our connection. Dinner that evening was a quiet affair, Daniel sensing my mood but not pressing. The unspoken tension hung between us like a thick fog, our conversations skirting around the edges of the truth. Afterward, I found myself wandering to Alex's old room, now a guest room seldom used. Memories cluttered the space like the scattered toys and books of his childhood. It was here, among these echoes of the past, that my resolve crystallized. Jenna had ignited a fire within me, one that burned with the need for justice and recognition. I wouldn't let her cruelty define my place in this family or dictate the terms of my relationship with Alex. As I stood in the quiet of Alex's room, a plan began to form, a way to expose Jenna's true nature and protect the family I loved. It was a risky path, fraught with potential heartache, but the stakes were too high to back down. I closed the door behind me, the decision made. It was time to fight back, to reclaim the narrative Jenna sought to control. The battle lines were drawn, and I was ready. The next move was mine, and I intended to make it count. As dawn broke, the house lay in a heavy silence, a prelude to the storm that was brewing. Today was the day I decided to confront Alex about Jenna's behavior and the disparaging housekeeper comment. My heart raced with a mixture of dread and determination. The thought of facing my stepson, whom I had raised with love and care, over such a painful issue was daunting but necessary. Daniel and I had agreed to speak with Alex together. Unity was our strength, and in this matter, we stood undivided. Daniel's support was my anchor, his calm demeanor a counterbalance to the tempest within me. "Are you sure about this?" Daniel asked, concern etching his features as we sat at the kitchen table, waiting for Alex to arrive. "Yes," I replied, my voice firmer than I felt. "We need clarity. We can't let Jenna drive a wedge through our family." When Alex walked in, the tension was palpable. His usual easy demeanor was replaced by a cautious wariness. He sensed the seriousness of the situation, his gaze flickering between Daniel and me. "Alex, we need to talk about Jenna's comments the other day," Daniel began, his tone measured but firm. Alex stiffened, his defenses rising. "What about them?" "Her saying Marianne isn't welcome at the wedding, and calling her a housekeeper. It's hurtful and unacceptable," Daniel continued, the hurt clear in his voice. Alex's expression hardened. "Jenna has her reasons. She believes family should be at the wedding, and Marianne isn't blood." I caught my breath, the sting of his words sharper than I anticipated. "Alex, I may not be your biological mother, but I've loved and cared for you as my own. Does that mean nothing?" He avoided my gaze, a sign of his inner conflict. "It's not about that. Jenna's just traditional." "Traditional?" I echoed, disbelief coloring my tone. "Or is it her way of asserting control, of excluding me from our family?" Alex shifted uncomfortably, a crack in his facade appearing. "It's complicated. Jenna has strong opinions about family dynamics." "Strong opinions shouldn't justify cruelty or exclusion," Daniel interjected, his disappointment evident. "We're supposed to be a family, Alex. That includes Marianne." The conversation spiraled, with Alex defending Jenna's actions and us trying to make him see reason. But beneath his arguments, I sensed a deeper unease. Jenna's influence was strong, but it wasn't absolute. There were moments, fleeting and fragile, where Alex seemed to waver, his conviction faltering. As the confrontation reached its peak, with voices raised and emotions raw, a painful realization dawned on me. This wasn't just about Jenna's disdain or Alex's acceptance of it. It was a test of our family's resilience. Could our bonds withstand the strain, or would Jenna's malice tear us apart? In the end, Alex left, the chasm between us wider than ever. Daniel and I sat in the aftermath, the weight of the encounter heavy on our hearts. "We had to try," Daniel said, reaching for my hand. "For our family." I nodded, tears brimming in my eyes. "I know, but it feels like we're losing him." Daniel pulled me into his arms, offering comfort in the silence. "We won't give up on Alex. We'll find a way through this." As I leaned into Daniel's embrace, a mix of sorrow and resolve settled within me. Jenna had drawn the battle lines, but the war was far from over. I would fight for Alex, for our family, even if it meant facing my own heartache head-on. The confrontation had laid bare the fractures within our family, but it had also steeled my resolve. Jenna's manipulations had ignited a fire within me, a determination to protect my family at all costs. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges, but I was ready to stand my ground, to mend what had been broken, and to reclaim the son I had lost to Jenna's influence. The days that followed the confrontation with Alex were marked by a heavy silence in our home. The air was thick with unsaid words, the tension like a tightrope stretched to its limit. Daniel and I moved through our routines with a semblance of normalcy, but the undercurrent of worry was palpable. Alex hadn't reached out since our argument, and the distance felt like miles instead of the few blocks that separated our homes. I spent my days in my studio, the blank canvases mocking me with their emptiness. Where I once found solace in my art, I now found a void. The colors seemed less vibrant, the brushes heavier in my hand. My thoughts were consumed by Alex and Jenna, their rejection like a constant shadow darkening my creativity. One afternoon, as I stared at a half-finished painting, the phone rang, shattering the silence. My heart leapt, a part of me hoping it was Alex, calling to bridge the gap between us. But it was Daniel, his voice tight with strain. "Marianne, can you come to my office? We need to talk. It's about Alex." The urgency in his voice sent a chill down my spine. I agreed, the sense of foreboding growing with each step I took towards Daniel's office. When I arrived, Daniel was waiting, his expression grave. He ushered me inside, closing the door behind us with a sense of finality. "It's Jenna," he began, his voice heavy. "She's taken things too far." My heart sank. "What happened?" Daniel sighed, running a hand through his hair. "She's been spreading rumors about you in our community, claiming you're trying to sabotage Alex's future for your own gain. The accusation was like a physical blow, leaving me breathless. But that's absurd. Why would she do this?" "Control," Daniel replied, his eyes dark with anger. "She's trying to isolate Alex, to make sure he's completely under her influence. And she's using you as the scapegoat." The realization was a bitter pill to swallow. Jenna wasn't just content with excluding me from their wedding. She wanted to erase me from Alex's life entirely. "What are we going to do?" I asked, the fight in me reigniting. I couldn't let Jenna's manipulations go unchallenged, not when our family was at stake. "We fight back," Daniel said, his determination mirroring my own. "We gather evidence of her lies and expose her for what she is." The plan was risky, fraught with potential fallout, but the alternative, standing by while Jenna tore our family apart, was unthinkable. We agreed to start by reaching out to friends and acquaintances to counter Jenna's narrative with the truth. As the days passed, we pieced together a clearer picture of Jenna's campaign against me. Her lies were insidious, designed to sow doubt and discord among those who knew us. But with each conversation, with each piece of evidence we gathered, the tide began to turn. People were hesitant at first, but as we shared our side of the story, their skepticism gave way to support. The work was exhausting, emotionally and physically, but it brought Daniel and me closer together. Our evenings were spent reviewing what we had learned, planning our next steps, and most importantly, reaffirming our commitment to each other and our family. Then, just as we were beginning to make progress, a bombshell dropped. Alex reached out asking to meet. It was the first communication we'd had since the confrontation, and my emotions were a whirlwind of hope and apprehension. As we sat across from Alex in our living room, the air thick with unspoken questions. I saw the conflict in his eyes. Jenna's influence was still there, but so was the son I knew and loved. "Mom, Dad," he began, his voice uncertain. "I think we need to talk." The use of mom was a lifeline, a glimmer of the Alex I remembered. As he spoke, outlining his doubts about Jenna and her actions, I felt a door opening, a chance to mend the fractures in our family. The fallout from Jenna's machinations was far from over, but this moment, this conversation, was a beginning. It was a chance to fight for our family, to pull Alex back from the brink, and to stand united against the storm Jenna had unleashed. The path ahead was uncertain, the challenges daunting, but with Alex reaching out, we had hope. And sometimes hope is the strongest weapon in the battle to reclaim what's been lost. The days leading up to Alex and Jenna's wedding were fraught with a tension that seemed to permeate every aspect of our lives. Despite Alex's tentative outreach and his expressed doubts about Jenna, he seemed trapped in the inertia of the wedding plans, unable to break free from Jenna's manipulative grasp. Daniel and I had prepared as best we could for what we knew would be a challenging day. Armed with the truth about Jenna's deceit, we hoped to expose her before it was too late, to save Alex from a mistake that could very well ruin his life. The morning of the wedding dawned clear and bright, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within our hearts. We received a message from Alex, a simple plea for us to be there, despite Jenna's wishes. It was a sign that the tide might be turning, that Alex was beginning to see through Jenna's facade. We arrived at the venue with a sense of purpose, the evidence of Jenna's lies securely in our possession. The guests were milling about, a buzz of anticipation in the air. Jenna was nowhere to be seen, presumably preparing for her grand entrance. As we mingled among the guests, sharing polite conversation, I could feel the weight of the upcoming confrontation. It wasn't long before whispers began to circulate, fueled by Jenna's allies, painting me as the villain of the piece. But we had allies of our own, those who had seen through Jenna's charade and were willing to stand with us. We had planned to confront Jenna privately to avoid a public spectacle, but fate had other plans. Jenna made her entrance, radiant in her bridal gown, the picture of innocence. But the facade didn't last. As the ceremony was about to begin, Daniel stepped forward, the evidence of Jenna's lies in hand. The room fell into a stunned silence as Daniel spoke, his voice calm but carrying a weight that demanded attention. He exposed Jenna's manipulations, her attempts to drive a wedge between Alex and our family, and her cruel campaign of lies against me. Jenna's reaction was immediate and incendiary. She denied everything, her voice rising in anger as she accused us of trying to ruin her special day. But the evidence was irrefutable, and as the guests murmured among themselves, it was clear that Jenna's deceit was laid bare for all to see. Alex stood frozen, the conflict evident on his face. It was a moment of reckoning, a chance for him to finally see Jenna for who she truly was. The confrontation escalated, voices raised in accusation and defense, until suddenly, Alex spoke. His voice cut through the chaos, a beacon of clarity in the tumult. "Enough!" he exclaimed. "I can't do this. I can't marry someone who would go to such lengths to hurt the people I love." The room fell silent, all eyes on Alex as he turned to face Jenna. "I was blind," he continued. "Blinded by love, or what I thought was love. I see now the pain you've caused, and I can't be a part of that." Jenna's face crumpled, her facade crumbling as she realized her schemes had backfired. The wedding was called off, the guests departing in a whirl of whispered speculations and shock. As the dust settled, Alex approached Daniel and me, his expression one of remorse and relief. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I see now what she was doing. Thank you for not giving up on me." The wedding fiasco was a turning point, a painful but necessary catharsis that cleared the way for healing. Jenna had shown her true colors, and in doing so had freed Alex from her grip. We left the venue together, a family once more united, not by blood, but by the bonds of love and forgiveness. The road ahead would be challenging, but we faced it together, stronger for the trials we had overcome. The wedding fiasco was not just the end of Alex and Jenna's relationship, it was a new beginning for us all, a chance to rebuild and to look forward to a future free from manipulation and deceit. In the aftermath of the wedding that wasn't, our family found itself in a delicate state of rebuilding. Alex, freed from Jenna's manipulative clutches but bearing the weight of his actions, sought redemption in the eyes of those he had wronged. The fallout from Jenna's deception left scars, visible and invisible, that we all worked to heal. Alex's return to the fold was tentative at first. The rift his relationship with Jenna had caused wasn't easily mended, but Daniel and I welcomed him back with open arms, ready to forge a new path together. It was a time of honest conversations, of apologies and acceptance, as we navigated the complexities of our renewed relationships. "I was so lost," Alex admitted one evening, as we sat together in the living room, a space once fraught with tension now filled with tentative hope. "I let her words and actions dictate how I saw everyone, even you, Marianne. I'm so sorry." His apology was heartfelt, and I saw in his eyes the sincerity and the regret. "We all make mistakes, Alex," I responded, my voice steady despite the emotion welling up inside. "What matters is that we learn from them and move forward." Daniel, ever the pillar of strength, added, "We're your family, Alex. Nothing can change that. We stick together through thick and thin." The journey to reconciliation was not without its challenges. There were moments of awkwardness, of revisiting old wounds, but there was also laughter and shared memories, reminders of the bond that had held us together through the years. As Alex worked to rebuild his life, distancing himself from the toxic influences that had led him astray, I found myself at a crossroads. The ordeal with Jenna had drained me, leaving me to question my place in the world, both as an artist and as a stepmother. Yet, it was through this period of reflection that I rediscovered my passion for painting. The studio, once a place of solace, became my sanctuary again, the canvases and paints my companions in healing. My art, which had suffered under the weight of Jenna's machinations, flourished anew, each stroke a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Word of my work began to spread, buoyed by the support of friends and the community that had rallied around us during our time of need. Opportunities arose, unexpected and exhilarating, as galleries and collectors expressed interest in my paintings. Daniel, seeing the light return to my eyes with each new piece I created, encouraged me to pursue my art full-time. "This is your moment, Marianne," he said one day, his eyes brimming with pride. "Your talent, your passion, it deserves to be seen by the world." And so I took a leap of faith. I left my job, dedicating myself to my art, to the stories I wanted to tell through color and form. It was a decision not without its fears and uncertainties, but it was one that felt right, a path forward that was uniquely mine to tread. The months that followed were a whirlwind of creativity and discovery. My paintings, once confined to the walls of our home, found their way into the hearts and homes of others, each piece a fragment of my journey, a celebration of overcoming adversity. Alex, too, found his way, embarking on a new career path that allowed him to use his experiences to help others. His relationship with Daniel and me deepened, the bonds of family strengthened by the trials we had faced together. As I look back on that tumultuous time, I am reminded of the power of forgiveness, of the strength found in unity. Jenna's attempt to tear us apart had, in the end, brought us closer together, a family reborn from the ashes of conflict. Life, like art, is a tapestry of light and shadow, of moments both bitter and sweet. In embracing the full spectrum of our experiences, we find the beauty in resilience, the grace in redemption, and the endless possibilities that await us on new paths. like3 googleusercontent.com AAFT5/AEFT5GBO5V7 Jericho KML7 Picoles 96C. The journey from the depths of family turmoil to the light of new beginnings was neither swift nor easy, but it was transformative. As I reflect on the path we traversed, I recognize not an ending, but a continuation. A narrative that extends beyond the confines of conflict and resolution into the boundless realm of growth and opportunity. In the months following our reconciliation and my commitment to art, our home became a testament to change. Where once there were echoes of discord, now resided peace and creativity. Daniel, ever my rock, embarked on his own journey of discovery, finding joy in supporting not just my artistic endeavors, but also in fostering a deeper connection with Alex. Alex's evolution was perhaps the most profound. Freed from Jenna's influence, he blossomed, embracing his true self with a vulnerability and strength that was both inspiring and heartwarming. His endeavors to help others, drawing from his own experiences of manipulation and redemption, filled us with pride. The bond between us, tested by fire, emerged stronger, a phoenix reborn. Our story, marked by the scars of betrayal and the beauty of forgiveness, had resonated beyond our immediate circle, touching the lives of those who had witnessed our struggle. The community, once a battleground of rumors and lies, became a network of support and admiration. The success of my art, once a distant dream, became a reality. Exhibitions, commissions, and accolades followed, each achievement a shared victory for our family. The themes of my work, influenced by our journey, spoke of resilience, hope, and the enduring power of love, resonating with an audience far wider than I had ever imagined. As I stood at the opening of my latest exhibition, surrounded by my family and the vibrant expressions of my soul adorning the walls, I was struck by the profound journey of transformation we had undergone. This was not the end of our story, but a new chapter, rich with potential and promise. Daniel, with his unwavering support, and Alex, with his renewed sense of purpose, were by my side, not just as spectators, but as co-creators of this beautiful tapestry we called life. The trials we faced had not only tested, but ultimately affirmed the strength of our bond, teaching us that the essence of family transcends blood and conflict. Looking ahead, the future was a canvas, vast and unmarked, waiting for us to cast our dreams upon it. With brushes in hand and hearts united, we were ready to paint a masterpiece of our own making, filled with the colors of joy, the textures of growth, and the light of love. This chapter of our lives, marked by pain, redemption, and artistic rebirth, was a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human heart. It was a reminder that out of darkness comes light, and from the shadows we can emerge, not diminished, but emboldened to face the dawn of new beginnings. As the evening drew to a close, I realized that our story, with its twists and turns, its lows and highs, was a beacon for anyone navigating the stormy seas of life. It was a narrative of hope, a declaration that no matter how fierce the tempest, the sun awaits to bathe us in its warmth and light. In the end, our journey was not just about overcoming adversity, but about embracing the beauty of the life that lay before us, rich with possibility and enlivened by love. This was not the end, but a beautiful, ongoing emergence from the shadows into the brilliant light of day.